was your last COVID-19 vaccine? Why doctors say it's time for another one coming up.
People living here on Streamview Drive say these traffic circles are dangerous, and they're calling for action from the city of San Diego.
Plus, more troops are being deployed to the border as the crisis grows there. And could a possible government shutdown pause Social Security payments? We verify. CBS 8 News Live at 6 starts now.
It's time for a booster shot. That's the latest from doctors around San Diego as the county sees a spike in COVID-19 cases. Good evening and thank you for joining us. I'm Carlo Cicchetto.
I'm Marcella Lee. For what you need to know about COVID right now, let's go to CBS 8's Kirsten Holmes. She's live at Rady Children's Hospital, where doctors say this round of vaccines is for everyone. Kirsten?
That's right. We talked to doctors here at Rady Children's Hospital, at UCSD Medical Center, and the San Diego County Department of Health. And they all say that the first round of vaccines are already available at some doctors' offices and pharmacies. But they also say starting next week and through the next couple of weeks, more vaccines will be readily available for you and your family to better protect yourselves against the virus.
We have been seeing kids in the hospital being treated with remdesivir. But we really haven't seen severe disease, and certainly the sheer numbers that we saw during the peak years of the pandemic.
Dr. Edmund Milder at Rady Children's Hospital says this late summer, early fall spike in COVID-19 cases we're seeing in San Diego County could be a lot worse if so many people weren't vaccinated. And Dr. Milder says it's time for a booster shot if you are vaccinated.
It's recommended for everybody 6 months and older. So there was a lot of debate about whether it should be targeted at higher risk populations, but modeling suggested that giving it to everybody would give the broadest protection and save the most lives.
There are a few ways you can get vaccinated. You can visit vaccines.gov to find a location near you anywhere across the country. And right here in San Diego, we have myturn.ca.gov, which specifically helps Californians find vaccination sites near them. Most vaccines are now administered at your doctor's office or pharmacy, but for others who don't have insurance or need a free vaccine,
and the county will be offering vaccine, but we will be offering at our public health centers to those that are uninsured to make sure that our most vulnerable populations that may not have access still would be able to come to a public health center to get a vaccine.
Dr. Davey Smith at UCSD says this specific shot is ready for this year's strain of COVID-19.
Virus has been evolving, so this vaccine is specifically based on the variants that are circulating now. And two, our immune systems have a faulty memory. They sometimes forget. So it's required for us to get a booster every now and then.
Some patients we talked to today say they've had a little bit of difficulty getting the vaccine right now. They say that they've had their appointments canceled on the same day or delayed for later in the day. The doctors we talked to today say the vaccine is still being rolled out, and as time goes on, starting next week and in the coming weeks, those vaccines will be more readily available at doctors' offices and pharmacies. Reporting live for CBS 8, I'm Kirsten Holmes. Back to you.
Kirsten, it's also the time of year for flu shots. What are doctors saying about getting both vaccines, the COVID-19 vaccine and the flu shot, at the same visit?
Doctors say they would prefer for everyone to get that COVID-19 vaccine and their flu shot all in the same visit so that we can all be better protected as we head into the fall and winter months. Marcella?
All right, Kirsten Holmes reporting live for us at Rady Children's Hospital. Thanks.
A man accused in a deadly stabbing in the parking lot of a Midway McDonald's is in jail tonight. As we reported last month, 44-year-old Joshua Goodman was riding his bike in the parking lot when a minivan rolled up and a man jumped out and attacked him. San Diego police say that man was 31-year-old Armando Parras. They tracked him down to Los Angeles, where he was arrested on suspicion of murder. Investigators believe that the two men did know each other. The woman who was driving the minivan still has not been found. A plea deal is in the works for a National City elementary school teacher accused of having sexual relationships with two former students. Right now, 34-year-old Jacqueline Ma is facing the possibility of life in prison if found guilty. But as CBS 8's David Goffredson reports, a deal could mean less time in prison and keep the two alleged victims from having to testify in court.
You're still in the process of preparing for negotiations on this case.
A delay is granted in the case against Jacqueline Ma, a National City elementary school teacher accused of sex acts with one student and lewd acts with another. Both sides saying Thursday they need more time to reach a plea deal.
Based on the discussions we had in chambers, we'd like to vacate the preliminary hearing that is currently set for October 18th.
The 34-year-old was facing up to 10 years in prison when she was charged with having sex with the first alleged victim. But when a second alleged victim came forward, prosecutors amended the complaint, and now Ma faces life in prison.
The fact that there's multiple victims triggers a sentencing enhancement that makes it potentially life in prison.
Prosecutor Drew Hart says plea negotiations will go forward, given the new preliminary hearing date now of November 29th.
The district attorney's office usually accepts more favorable offers if it means sparing victims from having to testify about abuse, which is one of the reasons why we're trying to negotiate ahead of the preliminary hearing.
Outside court, Ma's defense attorney told me both of the alleged victims were students at Lincoln Acres Elementary School, and both were age 12 at the time of the offenses.
The focus right now is first to talk to the district attorney's office and make them see that this is not in any way, shape, or form a life case. Ms. Ma is not a danger to the community, but we are still negotiating. We're in talks with the DA's office. We have a very good line of communication, and we are hopeful that we're going to have a favorable disposition soon.
A plea deal could make Ma eligible for parole someday, but if convicted, she obviously would never be working as a teacher again.
She is obviously concerned. She is worried. She's keeping her head down and cooperating in the process.
Plea deal negotiations are now expected to begin in October. Both sides tell me they prefer to work out a deal so that the minors do not have to take the stand in a preliminary hearing. At Chula Vista Court, David Gottfredson, CBS 8.
All right, David. Right now, people living in a Lemon Grove senior living complex are speaking out about their living conditions.
Last month, CSA San Diego County Fair Housing met with seniors at Terrace Gardens Apartments. More than 20 elderly tenants, many with mental and physical disabilities, reported that they were improperly treated by management. They say maintenance requests go unanswered and the on-site manager uses offensive language against them. CSA San Diego works to promote and enforce fair housing laws.
Everyone in this county is just one tragic incident away from living homeless on the streets. And yet our elders have to put up with this abuse and be quiet about it because they don't want to be in that situation.
The executive director of CSA Fair Housing says they are investigating these claims.
Today, San Diego Mayor Todd Gloria joined other city leaders to break ground on a new project in Scripps Ranch. The $7.6 million project will upgrade Jerebeck Park, adding new children's play areas, fitness equipment, and a resurfaced parking lot. Mayor Gloria says good parks are essential for neighborhood quality of life. This project could be finished by next summer.
In a major move, the Biden administration is granting temporary protected status to almost 500,000 Venezuelan migrants already in the U.S., allowing them to be here and work for the time being.
The decision comes as mayors and governors across the country are struggling to take care of migrants who end up in their cities. And as we continue to see people gather at our border near San Isidro. CBS 8's Jesse Began is here now with how experts say the move could help ease the strain.
Carla Marcelo, the Biden administration made the decision to grant people from Venezuela the protected status so they can hopefully get work and then not rely on the social safety nets of the cities they're in. A lot of migrants are coming from Venezuela, and the rough relationship the U.S. has with the country makes it hard to send people back. Meantime, we continue to see this influx of people, often with kids, at our border here.
The scene at the border fence near Monument Road, just outside San Isidro today, is a familiar one. Families, some with kids, wait under tarps. Volunteers fix and hand out food and water, and Border Patrol officials hand out wristbands.
We do understand that they're being processed, they're being fingerprinted, and provided with a notice to appear in court so that they can have their opportunity to express their credible fear interview according to international norms.
Benjamin Prado with the American Friends Service Committee says about 40 people were at the gate today, with another 150 near the area. It's the same issue as in Texas, albeit migrants there are showing up by the thousands right now. Many of these people are coming from Venezuela.
There is work, but you can't make ends meet.
The Biden administration is granting temporary protected status to about 472,000 Venezuelan migrants already in the U.S. The move hopes to speed up their approval for work permits. The U.S.'s rocky relationship with Venezuela makes it difficult to send the big groups of people who come here back. Allowing them to work could ease the pressure on states to house and feed tens of thousands of them. More than 5,000 people a day streamed in through Eagle Pass, Texas this week, with the mayor declaring an emergency. Arizona officials detained hundreds of people there, some in makeshift cages, and the busloads of migrants are dividing people in New York City, where officials say they've spent $2 billion since last year, housing more than 100,000 people. Meanwhile, people say waiting in Mexico is just not a safe option.
Muy peligroso. Es horrible.
The Department of Defense is now sending another 800 active duty service members to the border to help the 2,500 already there. Here, nonprofits are asking for volunteers to help the hundreds of people we are seeing getting dropped off at transit stops around the county. Carlo, Marcella.
Thanks, Jesse. Still ahead, a roundabout and stretch of street in a local neighborhood that some people are calling a death trap. We're working for you to get answers.
Plus, how our rainy winter weather could mean easy pickings when it comes to finding a perfect pumpkin this fall.
A lot of cloud cover out there. We had minimal clearing by this afternoon, and we're gearing up for a mostly cloudy Friday. I'll let you know why after the break.
But first, new hope that an end may be in sight when it comes to one of the Hollywood strikes.